If you're always the one cracking jokes, you're not just entertaining people, you're hiding. And I'm about to show you the psychological price you've been paying without even knowing it. Why it matters. Humor isn't just a personality trait. It's often an emotional survival strategy that's keeping you isolated. Number 1, intimacy avoidance, the deflection reflex. Every time a conversation gets real, you crack a joke. Someone asks how you're actually doing, you turn it into a bit. This isn't charm. It's a trained response that keeps vulnerability at arm's length. Your friend notices you've been off lately and says, "Hey, are you okay? You seem different." And before you can even think, you're doing a voice, making a reference, laughing it off with, "Yeah, I'm great, just dead inside the usual, haha." Psychologists have found that chronic humor deflection prevents the formation of secure attachments. Your brain never learns that it's safe to be seen without entertainment value. People think they know you, but they only know your material. Answer one personal question this week without a joke buffer. But it gets lonelier. Number 2, emotional illiteracy, feeling bypass. You've spent so long turning pain into punchlines that you've lost the ability to actually process emotions. Anger becomes sarcasm. Sadness becomes self-deprecation. Fear becomes absurdist humor. You're fluent in comedy, but illiterate in your own internal language. Something genuinely upsetting happens, betrayal, loss, disappointment, and within minutes, you're workshopping it into an anecdote. You're already planning how to tell it at dinner. The hurt never gets felt, it gets performed. Studies on emotional avoidance show that chronic humor as a coping mechanism correlates with higher rates of depression and anxiety. You're not releasing the emotion through laughter, you're compressing it. Your body keeps the score even when your mouth tells the joke. Sit with one uncomfortable feeling for 60 seconds without narrating it. And here's the cruelest part. Number 3, the exhaustion nobody sees, performance prison. Being the funny one isn't a role you play. It's a job you can never quit. Every social situation becomes a stage. Every silence becomes your responsibility to fill. You're not relaxing with people. You're managing their emotional experience while yours goes ignored. You're at a gathering and you're tired, genuinely exhausted. But the second the energy dips, everyone looks at you. And you feel it, that unspoken pressure to perform, to rescue the vibe, to be on. So you do. And you go home more drained than when you arrived. Researchers call this expressive burden, the psychological cost of maintaining a fixed social identity. Your nervous system never gets to rest. Humor becomes labor instead of joy. And the worst part? Nobody knows you're struggling because you've convinced them you're always fine. Tell someone, "I don't have a joke for this one. I'm just tired." Watch how uncomfortable that makes you. Number 4, credibility collapse, the boy who cried punchline. You've trained everyone around you to never take you seriously. So when you actually need help, when you're genuinely hurting, when you try to express something real, people think you're doing a bit. You've made yourself unbelievable. You finally work up the courage to tell someone you're not okay, that you're actually struggling, and they laugh. Not because they're cruel, but because you've conditioned them to think everything you say is set up for a joke. You've disappeared behind your own disguise. This creates what psychologists call cry for help invisibility. Your distress signals get filtered as entertainment. Studies show that people who use humor defensively are less likely to receive support during crises because their social network can't distinguish performance from pain. Preface one serious statement with, "I'm not joking about this." Let it land, without a safety net. Number 5, identity imprisonment, the mask you can't remove. You don't know who you are without the humor anymore. It started as protection, became personality, and now it's a prison. You built an entire identity around being funny, and the thought of being anything else, serious, vulnerable, quiet, feels like death. You try to have a sincere moment, share something real, be still, and it feels wrong, physically uncomfortable, like you're betraying some invisible contract. So you crack yourself open with a joke before anyone else can, because at least then you're in control of the harm. Neuroscientists studying identity flexibility have found that rigid persona maintenance creates cognitive dissonance and prevents authentic self-expression. You're not being yourself, you're being the version of yourself that kept you safe as a kid. But that kid grew up, the threat is gone, the armor stayed. Spend 1 hour with someone without trying to make them laugh. Just exist. Here's what nobody tells the funny one. Humor is beautiful, but when it's the only way you know how to connect, it becomes a wall disguised as a welcome mat. You're not letting people in, you're giving them a show and calling it intimacy. And the loneliest part? You're surrounded by people who think they know you, while the real you is suffocating behind the punchlines. If this one hurt, good. That means something true is trying to surface. Subscribe if you want more psychology that doesn't let you hide. And drop a comment telling me, when was the last time you let someone see you without the jokes? I'm reading every single one.